this week, but good fun.
Oh, sounds like a gorgeous weekend.
Yeah, really good fun. So love it.
So, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I just want it to be a really informal chat, just talking about your experience and a little bit about your business as well. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, that's lovely. Yeah,
Okay, so I'll just kind of do a bit of an introduction. Um, oh, I don't know what to say actually. So, welcome to ElevAIte Academy Alumni Podcast. And this week, I am interviewing the very lovely Avril Magee from Busk Properties. And I have to say, you are one of the most enthusiastic, energetic students I've had so far.
wow. Live up to that now.
Okay, so let me just ask you, just in a
Yeah.
couple of sentences, tell everybody what you do and who you help.
Okay, so I work with my husband. We're co-directors of the company, and there's only the two of us, and we are property developers. And we are very small and niche, but we take very tired old buildings and we reconfigure them and refurbish them and bring them back to life, really, and provide nice quality, desirable places for people to live and work in. So we tend to not sell them on once we've refurbished them. We hold them and rent them out to all different groups of people. So we've got some student tenants, some young professional tenants. We also let to companies. So when people say, "What's your strategy?" Basically, whatever works and looks right and feels right at the time. We don't just stick to one thing. We like to diversify because people will be familiar at the minute. We don't know what's going on in the world and how that's going to affect markets, including the housing situation. So rather than have everything the same, we've diversified across the type of people we rent to and the type of buildings that we've got as well. And hopefully, if one goes crash, another one will boost it,
Yeah.
and we can keep going as a small business in that way.
Good thinking.
Mm.
So, with that in mind, because you sound like somebody who likes to explore different avenues, would you say, and try different things, before you knew that my AI training existed, what was missing for you, even if you couldn't have named it at the time?
I think it was, we had named it. We knew that when we looked at a property and we didn't want to go into doing something like that without being sure, or as sure as you can be, that it's going to work. And we knew that we were quite slow in the process and we had missed some opportunities through being slow. Someone else had come in and was able to go quicker, and we didn't get that property. And although we knew it, we were struggling to find a way around it, really. And I started to hear AI creeping into conversations in networking groups and on podcasts that I was listening to. And then when I heard about the opportunity to do the training with you, I thought, actually, yeah, do it. To be quite honest, I didn't think it was going to work for me because because I am not the best at using tech. Social
Right.
media, I think I was the last person. Everyone used to make fun of me because I didn't have a mobile until I had to have one because my kids were going to high school and I didn't go on social media ever. until I got a business, and then I've reluctantly forced myself to become more familiar. So, and yes, I know how to do some things on the computer, but again, I don't think I'm the quickest. I don't know all the shortcuts, and I just know enough that I had to learn for when I was employed before we started the business. And I sort of, you know, I just got by really. So I thought I was going to be found out in this group in terms of, yes, you'd be telling us what to do and I'd be having a go, but everyone else will have finished it 10 minutes before and they'd be waiting for me to catch up, or you'd be having to spend more time and then you couldn't because there were other people to look after. So I didn't have any real expectations of it making a big difference for me. I just thought I need to find out a bit more about it. Whether I
Yeah.
can do it or not is another matter, but I should find out and then slowly I might pick up a few things.
Well, before we go on to just how competent you actually are, I think we should just give, or I'm going to give Joanna Scott Asprey at the Cheshire Club a little plug because
Yes,
that's how I actually met you.
yes,
Joanna had come to me and asked if we could do a collaboration and asked if I would run the AI training for her members. And actually, Avril, you were the only person that signed up.
yeah,
And
which I was totally shocked about because I've been in Cheshire Club groups and heard people talking about AI, but maybe they're just more competent or they now I know a bit more. I would say maybe they think they know enough, but perhaps don't realize how much more there is to know.
Mhm.
So,
So my next question is, was there anything about the training, how the training was structured that you weren't expecting? So
yeah,
yeah.
I thought that I'd do the training and I'd come along the next. I knew it was 3 sessions, and so I thought I'd come along the next week, and sort of half of it would have disappeared because I'd been busy during the week, and that I wouldn't, second and third week. That's when I thought I was going to get found out, and by having the daily homework, it sounds like that was a chore, but actually that made me practice what we'd been through in the session. And I found that actually learning by doing was much easier than learning by listening and watching someone press a button here and there. And having the session recorded meant that when there were a couple of things that when it came to doing the homework I couldn't remember, I had something to refer back to that then enabled me to do it. And I found I was so surprised at how quickly that meant that then when I was even in the first week of doing the homework, when I was doing things, I thought, well, actually, why don't I try? I know how to do that bit on AI now, and I've got this issue at work that I need to deal with. Why don't I just try using AI? And that really helped increase my confidence because then I was getting more sensible answers back. I was conscious that I couldn't trust it 100% and I'd still need to check it out. But that combination of doing the homework, having the video to refer back to, and then thinking, well, actually, this isn't as difficult as I thought. Why don't I try using it beyond what just the homework was? And I say homework, that's probably the wrong word for it. But there was a daily task to do, and I found that really worked for me because I think it allowed me to progress at the pace where I could absorb it really well.
I do try not to call it homework. I think I
Yeah.
call it your 7 days of confidence boosting.
And I think that's much better because that's exactly what it did for me. I remember coming back at the end of week one and saying to you, "Oh my God, I did it, and it wasn't so difficult." And yeah, yeah, I really liked the whole way the training was structured. It really worked for me.
So I know you've mentioned the homework and everything that helped you, but can you think of one specific moment where it really clicked and you thought it had really shifted and like I really can do this?
Yeah, I think over not just the first week, but over the second and third week, I think it was how to structure the questions that you ask, the prompts, how to say, please include this, that, and the other for me. And this is me talking as this type of person, and I want to sound like this, and this. And so it became sort of much more answering how I would answer, how I would speak. And that I never expected. I thought I'd get something from it and then have to copy and paste it into a Word document and then reword it into my own language. So I was at the beginning a bit skeptical and thinking, well, is it going to really save time? But oh my gosh, yes, it does. It really does. But you have to train it, and that was really helpful, sort of taking me through that and what I needed to do. And also, you really helped because you were then able to structure instructions for it based on what I needed for my business, because we talked about that during the sessions. So, yeah, way cleverer than I thought it would be.
So my next question is, what's something you did last week that you simply couldn't have done or would have taken much longer before the training? So I'm going to kind of guide you a little bit here in what we created in module 3.
Yeah. So I knew, and I think I had mentioned to you that one of the ways that I thought AI would help me most was, well, there were several things, but one of them was to write blogs. So we rebranded recently, got a new website. I knew I wanted to have a blog page on the website because we're not actually doing a project at the minute, but when we do, that will be a really good place to talk about the issues that come up and help other people to learn as well. And I was aware that if I had a blog, I could use it to help with my social media posts as well. So I wanted to write a blog, but I'd been procrastinating and procrastinating about doing it, and I'd written a paragraph or two, and it was just so long, and I didn't understand. I knew about SEOs and that you had to include them to raise the profile of your blog, but how do I know what an SEO is and how? So you really helped by listening to what my business was, what I was trying to do. And we actually agreed on three topics that, so I'd done a plan of the blogs I wanted to write. I just wasn't writing them because
What was stopping you?
time, lack of time,
Right.
lack of confidence, that they be something that people would want to read because I've never written books or articles before. So
And you'd never
how,
written a blog before.
no, never done a blog before. So I really wasn't sure how to structure it. So we created an instruction GPT about how to make Avril Magee a very good blog writer who talks about this, that, and the other, this is the way she likes to help people, her tone, her knowledge, to educate, to, I'm an expert with a very small e, because not everyone's a property developer, but how to actually come across as authentic and knowledgeable. And so the instructions that you were able to write for me, I could then take away and use them to ask certain questions that really honed in
Mm.
about making the AI sound like me. And then I went, and last week, or since our last session, I've written my first blog. And it took me a fraction of the time that I thought it would, because I had the subject matter. I knew how to ask the questions in the right way. And I knew when I read it back, oh, I wouldn't sound like that. I'll just change that sentence and that sentence. And then I asked it to be very critical of what I'd written. And so it came with some more suggestions, and I thought, oh, yeah, that's really good. So I actually started including examples that AI could never write about for me, because they're examples of projects that I've done, and AI wouldn't have that information. But having the rest of it, then the style of the writing, because it was so naturally me, it just became much easier to write about that project. And that project is what I'm passionate about. That is why I do what I do. So having the hard bits written that were, oh my God, how do I start this off? What do I really want to bring out? That sort of thing. But when it got to writing about the project, well, I lived and breathed that project for 6 months. So that was the easy bit to write without AI. But AI and the structure it gave me, and the tone and the quality of information it gave me. And then I could go back, and like I said, I didn't really know it very much about SEOs. And I asked it to sort of make sure that some of the wording I used would um, enhance the SEO rating. And so it came back with this whole script that is complete code for me, but it actually came back with, and if you're wanting to, because I wanted to include graphics as well, because a blog is very boring if there's nothing to illustrate it. So I asked it to help me find some graphics, and it came back with um, graphics that I liked, and then the code behind those graphics, so that when I want to actually put it uh, on the website, that those graphics will really help. uh, those codes, you see, I'm getting my words muddled up now. Those
Wow.
codes will actually help the graphics
Right.
to be seen in the right way. So I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have been trying to get pictures off the web that were very boring and generic and whatever, whereas this is much more structured to what I'm doing, and the writing.
Okay, so just to clarify that bit for our listeners, you have asked it to generate an image for you. It's not just
Yeah,
an image off the internet or something
no,
like that. Yeah.
no. And I described what I thought would be good. So I'm actually comparing three different things: an investor, a developer, and a landlord, and what's the difference between them. So I've asked it to generate a table that really clearly and simply, yes, there's all the writing and the explanation, but if you just want the quick version, you can go to the table and see it.
Right. And did you ask it to do it in your brand colors?
Yes,
Oh, brilliant.
yes,
Amazing. I love
yes.
that.
So yeah, it should all be. I'm hoping to get it published 1st of April. I've got someone. So I'm saying about putting all this code on. I've got actually got someone to help me that he'll actually load it onto the website for me.
And I was just going to say that you're not doing somebody
Yeah.
else's job because you're actually
No.
doing this foundational piece and then you're handing it off to your VA to
Yes.
actually get it live for you.
Yes.
He's going to love you.
And but to have all the codes for the graphics, I actually asked AI, what is all this about? And they came back and said, it will help your designer to be able to
Yeah,
translate this graphic into the blog.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he'll tell me if I haven't done it right when I give it to him. That's tomorrow's job, to actually give him the blog and the codes as well for the graphics and
Awesome.
say, put it on the website.
So thinking back, like let's say hypothetically, what would it have cost you not to have done this training, sort of in time, confidence, opportunities?
Um, Loads in the sense of my confidence around AI was almost at zero. Like I said, I came on the training with a negative thought that I wasn't going to be able to manage it.
But you had
Um,
used it a little bit, hadn't you?
I'd gone in and asked the odd question
Yeah.
on something that wasn't really very important, but yeah, just to try it. And that came from my daughter telling me that her workplace, and she works for a global company, people would know the name if I said it, and they are encouraging their workforce to use AI more for their daily tasks and just practice with it. And when she was up this weekend and I told her what I've been doing and what I learned, she said, yeah, mum, I know how to do that bit and that bit. But I don't think she has got all of it in terms of the personalization of it, because she's just asking it questions to help her with her work task. She's not asking it to behave like her
Yeah.
in that sense. So I think I'm just mum who she can, yeah, yeah, okay. And I think she is improving how she uses it. But I think that's what I really liked about the training with you, was the way that even if I was now working for someone else, by making it personal to you, I think you can achieve so much more out of it. Because there's no point having AI tell you something that's very intelligent and clever if you don't really understand what's behind it,
Mhm.
or whether how to check whether how accurate it is. You could end up sort of getting yourself in a real mess.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And how do you see AI fitting into your business over the next 6 to 12 months?
very much so. So we're currently doing lots of viewings, looking for our next project. And I've actually started working with it to help me assess whether a project is going to be viable, profitable. And what is really interesting is because it's set in a way where it's doing a deeper level of analysis before it comes back and gives me an answer. Um, it shows me all the resources that it's actually looking at to get the answer that it eventually gives me, and it's still quick. Um, but the amount of resources that it's looking at to help me analyze whether this deal is going to work or not, um, is phenomenal. And I wouldn't have been able to, I would have done one or two, but again, it would have taken me a much longer time. And really, how I use it is it gives me the answer, and then I just go and check it out against some real time information just to check that I'm not going to put myself in a big black hole
Mhm.
and get something really wrong. But again, I wouldn't be able to do it in the depth that I'm doing it at using AI. And we've had some really good information about it's not just the building and whether that's the right area, and this is how much it's going to cost to do what you want with it. So I can tell it what I want, but it then comes out with alternative ways that we could use the building. And so sometimes it just stretches your mind a bit further than you would have gone yourself,
Yeah.
really. Um, and the funny thing is, so my husband hadn't been using AI at all, and he used to work in IT, and so he's always been more competent than me. And over the last week, when I've come back and said, well, no, because where did you get that from? Well, I used my chat GPT. And today he has analysed two deals and he's, oh my God, this is fantastic. This is brilliant. And he can use it because you've personalised it to me. And we have a networked computer, system between us. So he doesn't have to learn that bit about, he understands it, but he didn't have to learn it. He could use it as Busk Properties Limited, and it
Yeah.
works for him. So he's now doing work 10 times faster than he did as well. So it's really going to help us get in there, get those deals. And uh, one of the big things for this year for me was we'd been plodding along doing one project at a time, and we knew we wanted to go faster. But I knew if I kept doing what I'd always done, it wouldn't. Nothing changes. So I think that was partly going right back to your first question that I forgot about this bit. But I think it was, well, I've got to try something a bit different because otherwise I'm just going to get the same results. And they weren't bad results. It was just our whole business was moving very slowly and we wanted to speed that up because one day we'd like to be out there doing other things other than our business. Although we're now thinking if we can do it at this sort of speed, the amount of time you spend on it, you can split your time between working and doing the traveling and the work, and we can use this wherever we are in the world. So it actually probably means we sort of can do both and continue to do both, which would be brilliant.
Oh, that is amazing. I love that. And I hope that you achieve that as well. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good return on your investment, isn't it?
absolutely, absolutely. And again, thank you to the Cheshire Club because I know that it was, I got it at a very good price. And that was really brilliant. So yeah, but I
What
think it's fully worth the full price. Now I know what it can do. Yeah.
what would you say to someone who thinks they're not techy enough or that it's too late to start?
Well, first of all, I'm probably not your youngest student ever. I'll be very honest and open. I'm in my 60s, so I have learned it really within 3 weeks. But I would say I learned my confidence was the first 2 weeks and doing the daily tasks that didn't take a long time, but they were quite exciting as well. And it really, I think I started off by saying how rubbish at tech I was. I think I am a lot behind other people when I see what they do. So if I can do it, I really would say have a go. You may think you can't, but have a go because I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised by what you can do.
And if someone's sitting on the fence right now, what do you wish that you could tell her?
I wish I could show them the examples of what I've done and how I've done it and the answers that I've got back. So I would say that I could go to something now that I'm not expert in at all, but just by asking question after question in the right way, I would get a sensible answer back about something very new. Um, so you don't have to just limit it to your work. It can it can be there for your life.
Mhm.
And is it that holiday that you don't want to go through the agent, you want to do it yourself, you want to go a bit off the normal routes? How on earth do you do that without spending hours and hours and hours on the web? I mean, I know there's experts that do that, but anything like that, if you are just thinking about the next car you want to buy, it'll give you so much more technical information, but in an easy to understand way that I think you can use it as much for your everyday life to help you as you can in your work and your business, and it will save you time.
Yeah. So finish this sentence for me, and I don't want you to overthink it, just whatever
Okay.
feels true for you. So before ElevAIte, I was blank, and now I'm blank.
Before ElevAIte, I was a skeptic, and since ElevAIte now, I'm a real fan of AI and what it can do. And I was partly a skeptic because of what you said about, is this going to put people out of jobs? And I actually think it is the most helpful tool that will help people in their work. And yes, the world's changing and some jobs will go. But that's what happened in the Industrial Revolution centuries and centuries ago. That's always going to happen. But I think you can use AI so productively to really improve. I mean, productivity is something that this country is not very good at. And I think it can really help increase productivity because you'll be able to do things at a greater speed and a very in-depth level very quickly. So
What?
definitely a fan.
Good, good. That's it. Skeptics are my favorite, I have to be honest. What would you like to learn next?
Ooh, that one I think there's other things. As much as I was a tech phobe, I've also always convinced myself that I'm not good at numbers. And there is an element of doing property development where you absolutely have to get your numbers right.
Uh-huh.
And if I can use the AI to actually help me understand why that turns into that and how you calculate that bit so that I can do it without having, I when we decided to start the business, we looked at what our strengths and our weaknesses were between me and my husband, and he is much better with the numbers. So I tend to have a go, but when it comes to doing a deal, he's the one that really interrogates it. I want to do that so that I'm no longer saying that's my weakness.
Yeah.
It can be a strength for me. And that's really exciting as well because the blog and the writing of the blog, that's all been about words and sounding like me. The numbers is very much the analytics and that's the side of things that I've just never really experienced before. So
I love that. I love that for you.
yeah,
And finally, what are you working on right now and where can people find you? I do follow you on Instagram and I've loved looking at all your um um developments that you've done and stuff like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
share your blog as well.
Yeah, well, the blog will be published hopefully the 1st of April, if not the 2nd. Um, it's all written, so it's just about getting it on the website. So the website is www.buskproperties.co.uk. Um, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. And actually, people could really help me here because I previously had sites under Avril Magee
Mhm.
and built those up over the past year, but decided to actually change my pages to Busk Properties Limited. So my numbers have gone right down
Oh,
since I moved over to Busk Properties. So if you could follow me on Busk Properties Limited as Busk Properties Limited on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
and I'll pop all the links in the show notes as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for being one of my most open-minded and enthusiastic students that I've had so far. And I do hope that you do some more training with me. I think we talked
Yeah,
about a couple of bits, hadn't we? Like automations and Claude and stuff like that.
yes.
But yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for giving me your time tonight as well.
And can I just say before we go, honestly, Penny is the most brilliant teacher, and the way she explains things is so clear, and she can really help you. I'm sure. I want lots of people to train with you because if they get out of it what I've got out of it, it'll be brilliant for all of them.
Oh, thank you so much. That means
So,
so
and
much.
she hasn't paid me to say that.
I was going to say I haven't. Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll keep it. Well, we will keep in touch. But yes, I think let me find my next deal and get started on that, and then I'm going to come back for the next little bit. So
Awesome.
yeah,
And
lovely.
I'll be following your journey and seeing how you get on.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Lovely to speak with you, Penny.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.